Alright, finally got the newer used motor in here. I didn't show the process of redoing everything. This motor has 98,000 miles on it. This was the engine that locked up. Well, it didn't lock up, it actually threw a valve. Here's the old head right here. This is the carnage. That valve dropped on the #1 cylinder, turned around, and it put a hole in the piston. Destruction. All right, so I'm very close to my first startup. I got it rebuilt yesterday. I rebuilt as far as the preventative maintenance, new plugs, time belt water pump, drive belts. Of course, I did that today. Any seals that need to be replaced. It's basic thermostat. It's done for. It don't need to be There's no maintenance for another 100,000 miles. That's how I do all my engines. I don't want to have to go back over it. Too much volume. So, all right. Let's see. I got the bottom end put in. The down pipe, the torque converter bolts, bell housing bolts in the bottom top. Mounts good. Drive belts. Check the timing before I put everything back in there. AC line, that AC is already filled up. Didn't have to disconnect anything with that. Power steering is good. The intake, fuel lines, everything should be good to go. I don't think I got anything loose or disconnected. I don't have any coolant in it yet. I know there's oil and filter. It's just like a quart load of oil right now, but I'm not gonna worry about that. So I think we're good on starting it up. I don't think I'm missing anything. It took about 3 hours to get everything back together. Once I got it sitting in there, it was smooth sailing from there. Oh yeah, I'm looking for that. It did fall out. That's for the old throttle linkage. I'm gonna hook that up when I get done. I just want to get that first startup done. So let's see what happens. I'm gonna hook the battery up. So we're good with that. Everything should be fine. Biggest concern is ensuring I don't have a blown head gasket. Man, that would hurt my feelings. I will say, I assume when I was doing the time belt and everything, even when I drained the residual oil that was left in the pan, there was remnants of what seemed to be head gasket blown symptoms, chocolate milk in the oil, but it didn't have an oil cap. All the orifices was covered up with like a styrofoam, so it was like a foam material. It's a styrofoam. So I assumed that when they pressurized it, the condensation, everything is rolled down with shipment, but I didn't see it up top. So let's start it up. I'm gonna leave this off, and usually there's be a little steam that come from the cap there, but it's nothing, as long as it's not a significant amount of pressure. But I'll just leave that just detached, so I won't forget to check that. All right, let's see what happens. Running smooth. I don't understand why they got like a primary and a secondary throttle. I don't understand why it's like that. I wonder if this is like a butterfly valve in a way when it comes to power, but it doesn't make any sense. It's not in there. So normally it's after the throttle body, the actual throttle body. So I don't know. I guess this is like a butterfly valve. Sounds good. All right, let's cut it off. There's a lot of steam coming out the back, but I think that was from, yeah, that's from probably all that water they had in the intake when they were cleaning this off. Man, oh man. Starting to get a little smoky in here, but more than likely it was from all that, when they cleaned the motor, all that water and oil that was sitting there that didn't evaporate. So I'm not going to worry about all that. It didn't hesitate or miss when it started running smooth. And even if it did a little bit, it didn't sound like a blown head gasket, only because how this motor's designed. If you look at the head over here, I mean, it's immediately by the water. It's immediately by the water valley here, the water jacket. So it should have been having some type of pressure in the system there, because the competing forces are going to be more greater in the cylinder, the combustion. Let's see what we got. Yeah, it's no pressure there. All right, let me get this topped off with coolant, and that is, I don't want to run out the water pump, but I want to make sure it's not pushing out any coolant and get the water pump lubricated. So let's go ahead and fill everything up, top the oil off. Got the air box back on. Got the coolant topped off. The heat's on, so it's circulating through the heater core. The heat is working, no check engine light. The only thing I'm gonna do is wait till the fans come on. Once the fans come on, shut it down, check the oil, top the oil off. Coolant I'm not gonna worry about, because as long as the heat working is circulating, I'm gonna give it another day, and I'll check the reservoir here, top it off, and then check the coolant again. Other than that, any car I do with my customers, especially put a motor in there, I'll drive 50 miles. Like, no questions asked. I mean, I'll put on a receipt how many miles they refuse for the engine to be driven or not. But this car is going to be driven 50 miles, recheck, make sure there's no oil leaks, make sure everything's tight. I don't want this car coming back for no reason at all. So let me see. That's just fluid from the power steering. I think I'm pretty much done with this. I mean, no, other than that, I'm just, like I said, I'm going to drive it around, and in the midst of driving, I'm going to take it to the car wash, clean everything up, then put all the cosmetic stuff on there. So, just like the covers, that insignia. So I'll put all that stuff back on there. But for the most part, I just need to make sure that my part's done. There's no oil leaks or anything. But we're going to wait for these fans to come on, take it to the car wash, get it cleaned up. And right now, while it's running, I'm going to check for oil leaks and address anything that needs to be addressed. So, cool. Fans just came on. They're shut down now. But they just came on, which is a good sign. It's coolant circulating. Everything's moving thoroughly. It's still steaming a little bit, but it's kind of subsiding. I just remembered when the motor blew, all that oil came out the exhaust system, so a lot of that stuff stuck in the catalytic converter probably, and then the downpipe. So I mean, all that stuff is that's moving out, that's burning off. I forgot. So part of it could have been the condensation in the motor, but for the most part, it was when the motor blew, the piston, it put a hole in that piston, all that back pressure and all the incorrect vacuum pulled all that fluid in there. That's why the intake has so much oil in it, and all that stuff is being burnt off. So other than that, this is good. And get the update once I get the motor cleaned up and driven. Let me see how many miles on it right now. It's hot. So let me reset. How do you reset this? Day, and I got 46 miles on it. So I did a basic check before I started driving it. Checked the oils, looked under the car, make sure there was no leaks. No leaks. Oil's topped off, coolant's fine. There haven't been any issues as far as driving the car. Just took it to the car wash, cleaned up the engine bay, and let's take a look under there. This engine bay still dripping wet. Car wash not that far from here, so but car's in better shape than what it was when it left. Well, I'm sorry, car's in better shape than what it was when it got here. Despite there being some issues with the shipment, the reason why I got the motor a little later, it turned out pretty well. Everything went smooth. So all the fluids are topped off. This car should go another 80 to 100,000 miles without needing any maintenance. Spark plugs are done, new prime belt water pump, valve covers, and everything's sealed up. I had to put a new the oil filter housing, oil adapter gasket, so that's brand new. And this car is pretty tight, no check engine lights. Alright, well, it's on to the next project.